Hi, I'm Wyatt Cash with Scoop News Group, and we're here at the Data Cloud Summit 2021. And I'm here with Darren Pulsipher, Chief Solution Architect, Public Sector at Intel. Darren, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Wyatt. It's a pleasure.
So I had a couple questions for you and our audience. As we kick off 2021, what are the biggest priorities that you see in the government space for data management?
I have to say that COVID has really exacerbated some of the problems that we were probably going to see in the future. And it's the spread of data all over the place. So managing data that is now in the cloud, on-prem, and who knows where, it's going to be probably one of the biggest things that they have to deal with, in the securing of that data. So that's the big thing I think we're going to see in 2021.
Well, just following up on that, how would you say that COVID-19 has further emphasized the need for strong data management and also data sharing practices?
Yeah, COVID-19 did something really interesting. It did not create something new. It just accelerated plans that most organizations already had. So some organizations were ready, and they did a pretty good job with, people working remote and sharing data remote. But it also exposed securing that data. So one of the big things that we're seeing organizations look at, and what they need to do, is capture what's going on with that data now, because people are using collaboration tools that they've never used before. And like if I record a meeting or something, where is that data residing now? Or I'm sharing documents, or I'm sharing a whiteboard now. So the collaboration technologies are there, but we really haven't stood up the data infrastructure underneath to manage what I do with all this data now. It's great data that I have, where before, I know everyone's done this. I draw things on a whiteboard in a conference room, and then I take a picture of it with my phone, right? Now I don't have to take a picture of it with my phone. It's already there in the cloud. But the question is where in the cloud, and how do I get access and catalog that data? That's going to be the big thing that COVID has brought. Is it just accelerated how we collaborate and managing all that data.
Well, speaking of the cloud, as agencies continue to adopt cloud and also artificial intelligence solutions in the cloud, what should they consider when it comes to managing their data and their data strategy?
I think the number one thing first is finding out where your data is. When you find out where your data is first, then you can create governance rules around it. And then now you can start looking at AI and analytics on what to do with that data. If you do the analytics first, then you can't trust where the data is coming from. And now all of a sudden you may have an issue. Do I really trust the analytics I just ran? I'm not quite sure, because I don't know exactly if that data was trusted or not. So that's where I tell people, look first at governance, and then start building your analytics on top of, and you'll start unlocking lots of valuable information that you never had before.
Well, certainly a lot of that value is in sharing information with other agencies and entities, right? So how should agencies and organizations think of the security risks that are present and or coming down the pike?
The security risks are huge. Because your attack surface on data has probably quadrupled, because your data is now spread all over. So you've got to do a really good job at your data governance. You've got to come up with good sharing practices. And there's going to be a tendency this next year, I think, for everyone just to lock everything down. And I think that will be several steps backwards if we go that route. Instead, let's put in some good data governance and create a data management plane, so that you're not impeding on the sharing of data across agencies, but you're doing it in a kind of under the cover way, so that you are doing your data governance, but it's not impeding on the collaboration that we've gained in this last 8 months when we've been at home. So it's kind of a trick. It's this little dance you have to play with, oh, too much security or not enough security, but creating a common data management plane is going to be key to making this happen.
Well, some great points. Darren Pulsipher with Intel, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to join us today and share some of your insights about data management and as we move forward in the federal government.
Hey, thanks for having me, Wyatt.